Hello and welcome to my dungeon. I have a confession, but it's not really a confession, it's more of a story. I know, surprise, a story for the Dungeon Diaries. Who could have seen that coming? Not me. I like Kirby. Can you tell? I tried to set it to be a part of the background, but I ended up just covering all of it. So just, you get a quick glance and then that's it. So the thing is about Kirby is like, oh, everybody knows Kirby. Everybody loves Kirby. Unless you're playing Smash with somebody who picks Kirby, then you don't like Kirby. But you know, if you know, you know. Thing is I have a funny story about Kirby. It's not like I was 13 and played Super Smash for the first time and was like, oh, who's this cute little pink jiggly guy? Not talking about Jigglypuff. That's not what happened. This is the most bizarre story I think I could ever have. The thing is, where I actually, I guess, met Kirby was a dentist who was a scam artist when I was like 7. I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. We had just moved to like a new place in Texas and my mom was like, oh, like I'm gonna take you to the dentist because, you know, you gotta get your teeth cleaned, you gotta get your teeth looked at, you know, and I was 7. I was not really allowed sugar for anything, like maybe for like, you know, a special little treat here and there, but you know, I was also regularly flossed, I regularly brushed, like, you know, my parents were very on top of that. You know, it's just a regular checkup for the kid, right? I don't know if I was 6 or 7. I know that it's like when you barely start getting like a conscious, you know, it's kind of like when you're coming to, you're being like, oh, I'm making memories now. It was kind of like that, right? Because the thing is, we went to this dentist office and I don't remember nothing. I remember walking up to the front and I remember turning and there were like arcade games in this dentist in like the waiting area. But the thing is, so we went in and we waited a little bit, but the thing is, on the side of this arcade game was a big pink looking dude. Big red feet, and it had Kirby. And I remember seeing that and I remember going, I love him. I want that. And I asked my mom if I could play and she's like, no, we have to stay at the dentist. And I was like, mwah, even though it wasn't the dentist, but you know, like moms. So then we get called to the back, the dentist checked my teeth and they're like, yeah, she has like 7 cavities, 8 cavities. We gotta fill these, you know, their cavity is so bad. My mom was like, she is a literal child and she does not eat sugar all that much and she brushes her teeth every single day. What do you mean my child has like 10 cavities? You know, it was like some bizarre number. And they're like, oh, you know, kids, they sneak candy, they do this. And my mom knows me. I'm not like a sneaky kind of kid. So my mom was like, I don't think so. So she took me to a different dentist. But I remember being so upset because I was never going to see Kirby ever again. But I always remembered Kirby. I loved Kirby. I used to sneak into like, so you know how like, you may not know, churches have like a storage room, right? And in my church's storage room, they had all the arts and crafts stuff and I would sneak in there, even though I just said I was not a sneaky child. Anyway, I would sneak in there and I'd get like the puff balls, you know? Because my mom never took me to craft stores because she knew how I would be and I would make arts and crafts for 24/7 and then she'd come in my room and it'd be 3 a.m. and I'd be making arts and crafts, you know? Anyway, I would sneak in to the church room. I would get the puff balls and then I'd get the little styrofoam hearts that they would have and I would glue the puff ball to the styrofoam heart and I put little googly eyes on it and I get smaller puff balls and I glue that to the sides and I made my own Kirby and then I realized I could do other colors other than pink and I got in trouble a couple times. Anyways, doesn't matter. But anyway, so I loved Kirby. I always loved Kirby. Didn't even know what Kirby could do. I just saw him and was like, yes. 2004, 2005. I don't know. My brother came home and he's like, we have to play this game. It's called Super Smash Bros. Melee and it's so fun and blah, 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 blah. We got a GameCube and we can play it. And I was like, okay, let's go get it. So we went and got it. I don't know if we rented it. I don't know if we bought it. I don't really remember. It's a long time ago. All I know is we got it and I saw Kirby. I saw in Link, but that's a different thing. So saw Kirby and I was like, that's Kirby. My brother's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's Kirby. My brother's like, yeah. And I was like, no, you don't understand. So I was a Kirby main. I did not play Link because I was like, he's too holy. I cannot touch. I have to play Kirby because Kirby and I are destined to be players together. Link, I just look at because he's pretty. I was 12. Calm down. That just made my Kirby obsession even worse because I was like, I love him so much and I can't. So what I did for years, for my Christmas lists, I would put like, I want video game, and I want a Kirby stuffed animal. This is like 2005, okay? Do you think anyone in the United States of America has a Kirby stuffed animal? Do you think they even know what Kirby is? To them, Kirby is the vacuum, you know, like from the Brave Little Toaster. Anybody? Anyone know? No? Okay. Anyway, I always put that, and the thing is, my parents didn't know. We didn't have the internet like that. It wasn't like nowadays, right? I always wanted a Kirby plush. I even debated. I got really good at sewing for a little bit, and I was like, I can make one. I can make a Kirby plush. I was like, I can do it. I didn't, but you know, I always wanted to. And like, as you know, time went on, I just loved Kirby, but I just came to the, you know, conclusion that I was never going to have a Kirby plush. It's 2016. I go to Japan for the first time. I go to Tokyo and I'm going to all these shops and oh wow, look at all the anime stuff. Wow, look at the manga. Oh, look, Pokemon cards. And oh, it's so cool. And oh, look at this anime merch. This is so cool. Wow, look at the figures. This is so cool. Walking around, you know, all kinds of stuff. Oh, look at the jewelry. I go into the store where the steps were like down, right? And I see him. I see this in all his little glory. And I see it and I'm like, oh, never bought something so fast in my entire life. In my entire life. I bought him so fast and I was like, I cannot believe this. I finally have a Kirby plush. Look at him. You're gonna look at me and tell me that you wouldn't get this. This is the most peak Kirby you could possibly get. And I got him in Japan, you know? And anyway, so that started my obsession because then I realized that they are in fact making Kirby plushies. And then as time went on and people were like, oh, actually people want to buy Kirby plushies. As you can see, it has become quite a problem. It's even worse though because listen, do you see this? Do you see this? This isn't regular plush. There's so much cat hair on this. This is the soft one. You know, like in Squishmallows, that's literally all the Kirbys. They are all Squishmallow-ish. They're a little more tougher so they can fill out the curb, you know? It's so crazy to think though that all it took was me seeing, I don't know if it was like a ping pong table. I don't know if it was like one of those like old arcade like I don't know what it was. All I remember is Kirby was plastered on the side of it and I knew that he was my best friend for the rest of my life. That little pink ball man, not bald, ball. I adored him. I adored him and I still adore him. Anytime I see Kirby anything, I get so excited. And the thing is too, I didn't know I had a Kirby Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance, I think. And then I got, you know, Smash and all stuff. And then I got Kirby Air Ride, one of my favorite games. And it's like, it's so pointless, but you're Kirby and you're driving and then you collect stuff and then you can unlock cool cars. I have no one to talk to about this, okay? Kirby Air Ride was elite and I need them to remake it anyway. As well as Twilight Princess and as well as Wind Waker, besides the point. But yeah, and it's so funny because, like, you know, them playing Super Smash Melee. Is it Melee or Melee? I feel like I've heard people say Melee more often. I've always called it Melee. Am I wrong? Don't tell me. I'm too embarrassed. Don't say anything. Just pretend. Yeah, I recently got the one, I don't remember what it's called, but the Kirby game where he like can become a car. I played that on the airplane when I was flying and it was pretty cute, but it's kind of hard for me to, you know, I'm old. I prefer it on the TV, you know? I can do it handheld, but I prefer TV. What are you doing? Do you have a weird connection with a video game character, TV show character, anything else? Maybe a box of cereal? Maybe you really like Tony the Tiger. You just saw Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes, and just felt a connection. Hey, I get it. I kind of was the same with the, do you remember Mr. Bubbles? With like the bubble bath? Yeah, I remember seeing like on the back, it's like, oh, sign this, you know, you sign up for this and you can get a Mr. Bubbles t-shirt. I wanted that shirt so bad. To this day, I still want that shirt. They don't have it anymore and it's very upsetting. Anyway, you have any weird connections with anybody? Like Kirby? Cause listen, I've also always loved writing and I used to, listen, bear with me. I used to write fan fictions about me and Link when I was like 12. Hear me out, okay? And it was nothing weird. It was just like, I was in the GameCube and like I got put into the GameCube and then I was living in Super Smash and, you know, Link was there and then Kirby was my best friend and me and Kirby were up to, you know, all the little silly best friend stuff and then, you know, Link was like, oh, like I like you so much and I'm like, Link, stop. You know, anyway, I was 12, okay? We all go through weird, you're either weird and you draw or you're weird and you're right, okay? It's one of the two. It's one of the two. It's bad too because like I want to have like a beanbag Kirby. I think that would be awesome. I want to have a massive beanbag Kirby. They don't make it and I would have to make it, and we all know how I am with hobbies. Like I have so much stuff because I'm like hobby, I'm bored, new hobby, I'm bored, new hobby, you know. I may or may not have ADHD. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Hope you have a fantastic day. Safe travels. Goodbye.